help you feel comfortable on the floor, that's great. Even a towel, maybe a rolled up towel or even a folded up towel, something that can give you a little bit of height in some of our seated positions. Also, if you don't want to come down to the floor yet, that's fine. There's a few things that we're going to start with, and you can just do them up on your feet. But just for simplicity, I'm just going to be down here on the floor the whole time for it. Okay, so either standing, or if you're on the floor, you're going to be on your knees. All right, and I might cut off my head a little bit here, but it's not going to matter in a moment. So first one is a kneeling prisoner bow.
Mobility. Kneeling prisoner bow.
Knees are on the floor, or you're just standing up tall. A hip hinge back and coming back up. So it's a slightly different sensation if you are on your knees. Really make sure that you're squeezing into your glutes, drawing into your belly button, because you're missing that one extra link of your lower legs to help you with bending in that position. Most of these movements, we're going to be going for 1 minute. There's a few of them where we break it up into 30 seconds. But for the most part, you're just going to continue for a minute. Try to get deeper every time. You have 6 more seconds. Next one, we're going to bring our hands together in a prayer position, and you're going to twist right, twist left, come back to the center, open up the arms with your thumbs reaching behind you to stretch through the chest, then bring it back to that prayer. Rotate right and rotate left. Hold in the center to open out wide. Good job. So you're trying to get that rotation along the T-spine. That's your center portion of your back. So if you were to break apart your back into 3 sections, that center T-spine is the one that you want to have rotate. So keep your hips still as you twist. Try to keep your ears lined up over your shoulders as you twist. Last one here, we just have a couple seconds.
Kneeling side bend.
All right, next one, if you're still kneeling, that's great. You can also do this standing. You're just going to reach your fingertips down to the floor. So everyone can just use their knees as a target. You don't have to get as deep as your knees, but get this little bend across your back. Bringing a little mobility to the spine. And we're just going to keep our hands reaching down the legs. So we're a little more than halfway. If you want to try to reach deeper, like maybe you can tap the floor with your fingertips. Maybe if you're standing, you can go a little past your knees. Every time you come back to the center, make sure everything is lined up. Good, 4 more seconds. We're not trying to let ourselves roll forward as we lean in an effort to get deeper. Next one, it's a little back bend. I'm going to go sideways so you can see this a little bit better. Arms come up overhead. Just to wherever you feel comfortable, you're going to look up, get a little back bend. And as you come down, sit back on your heels, fold forward, and drop your hands back. Now, if you're standing, you're just going to let your stomach kind of rest on your thighs and let your legs bend as you reach the hips back. So it's just not as deep of a movement if you're standing up on your feet, but just this similar motion. So the back is rounded when you're in this, it's called a worship position, worship pose. And then as you come up with hands up, it's a little bit of a back bend, so scooping of the back. Okay, that's it for that one. Now, if you're not down on the floor with me, you can put hands on a chair. If you're down here on the floor with me, shoulders over the wrists, knees under the hips. You're going to take your right hand behind your ear, open up to the right, and then drop that right elbow down. Now, lifting, trying to flare the armpit, the right armpit, up towards the ceiling. Keep the breath flowing. I like to exhale down, inhale as I'm on my way up, and then extra exhale to help encourage that opening. Oh man, this one, I can tell I need a lot of work with this one. This is a good one because my back is not as mobile as I would like it to be. Let's switch sides. You keep going with this. My computer is telling me my battery is low. So keep going, that left elbow reaching up and then dropping the elbow down. Okay, there we go. Good, just go within a comfortable range of motion. Although trying to give yourself that little extra push in each direction, either elbow to the floor or elbow reaching up. And this is hard work. It's slow and smooth, but it doesn't mean we're not working hard. Okay, cat-cow, I'm just gonna turn sideways, shoulders over the wrists, knees under the hips, or you're standing on your feet, hands on the chair. You're gonna send the tailbone up, send the head up on an inhale. On an exhale, round through the back, drop the tailbone, drop the crown of the head. And keep flowing through that, following your breath. Just waving the spine back and forth. As you go into that cat position where the back is rounded, even try to spread your shoulder blades apart. Really suck the belly button in when you're lifted up, and then let the belly button press towards the floor when you're arching. Moving on once again, we're going to come into a plank. So you can do this on the chair, hands on the chair. First, we're just going to tap one foot up, hold for a beat, send that foot back, other one up, send it back. So you're gonna be building some heat here. You might notice yourself breathing a little bit heavier, but you're also just opening up in the hips. Now, when your left foot comes forward, reach your left arm up, then take it down and switch. Let's just try to do a couple of those on each side. That foot placed in front by your hands with a rotation. You have 5 more seconds.
Squat, hold, rock.
Okay, now this next one also is pretty intense for the hips. We're gonna be down in a squat. And then you're just gonna do a rocking side to side. If this isn't for you, you can be up a little higher and just shift slightly side to side. You can have hands on a chair for support, and you can even come up out of it every once in a while if you need to just straighten the legs. Don't feel like you need to put yourself through a lot of pain, but this is really good. If you can manage this, it's really good for opening up the hips, and you're also getting a little bit of mobility in your ankles. Try to keep the chest lifted. Good work. Yep, or you're here. You just have 5 seconds. Good. Now, either sitting on a chair or sitting on the floor. Have your feet fairly wide. Hands behind if you're on the floor, hands behind. And we're just going to swivel back and forth. Good. So this is a little bit easier, just getting into those hips a little more. So when one hip is externally rotating, the other one is internally rotating. And then you just switch. And again, we're here for a full minute. This is our last move in our mobility portion. So you're going to have about 15 seconds after this to rest. So if you need a drink, you can grab some water. 10 more seconds here. It just rotates slow and smooth. 2, 1, rest. Nice job. Okay, so for this next section, you can do it in a chair, but if you're comfortable coming to the floor, I would encourage you to do that because you'll get a lot more benefits here on the floor. Stability. So it's going to be a little intense on your core. You're stabilizing through your core through a lot of these movements. First one is a saw. Go ahead and spread your legs wide, arms out to the side. For the first 30 seconds, we're not moving. We're just holding, thinking about a tall back. If you can kind of see over in this corner, if you can see my back in the mirror, hopefully it looks straight. All right, now we're going to move through it for the second 30 seconds. You're going to twist, reach opposite hand to the opposite foot, come back to that tall posture, twist and reach. A little rounding through the back as you reach. Belly button is pulling in. And you just have a few more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Now similar, except legs are going to come straight out in front. Sit up tall. Option 1, your arms are out in front of you. Option 2, hands are just lightly behind the head. Option 3, arms are straight up. This is called an L sit. So you're trying to make your body in the shape of an L. And I'm just going to pivot myself sideways because we're going to move through the next section. We're going to move right into a C curve. And you might remember that we've done a C curve in the chair where we're reaching like this. So you can just stick with that, or you're going to do a full roll down for a C curve. I'm just telling you what's coming. We still have a few seconds here in our L sit. 3, 2, 1. Now everybody's arms come in front. Let me just do a modified C curve. Draw the belly button in, reach the fingertips forward, and then sit up tall. So you can stick with that. Or roll down the spine. One vertebrae at a time. Reach the arms up overhead. And then exhale, come up. Keep reaching those fingertips forward. Reach for your toes. And then sit up tall. Roll it back down. This is so good for that core stability, core strength. Give it a good exhale as you're rolling up. That'll help give you that little extra burst to get your body up. Sit up tall and then reach forward. And you're done with that. You can lower your arms. Now, feet on the floor, you're going to bend your knees. You're going to lean back and hold. Now, this might be enough. Or if you would like another challenge, you're going to slowly alternate a foot reaching out so that you can hold one leg for about 1 breath. So exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Or both feet up. And you can hold this, V sit, hover. You have 8, 7, or keep switching your feet. 3, 2, 1, and down. Next one is a side plank. Right hand. So this is my left, but you can lower your right elbow. And now you can have feet on the floor. Actually, let's straighten out a little bit. Shoulder to knee, straighten out. Lift up your hips. Or if you want a little bit more, take that top leg out. Good, you're trying to lift up this bottom hip as much as possible. Shoulder is directly over the elbow. If you even want a little more, you have feet and legs stacked together. Squeeze in the inner thighs. Good job. 10 seconds. Keep a nice long neck. This one is tricky to do with the chair. I don't really like having one hand up on the chair and legs down. Go ahead and rest. It just kind of makes things, it doesn't really keep the body in good alignment. Now you're going to go to a low plank. So rotate onto your elbows. I'm going to flip this way. But you're on your elbows, shoulders over the wrist. You can be on your knees. I should have said that initially. On your knees or on your feet for the first 30 seconds. We're just holding. And now that 30 seconds is up, we're going to tap to the side. Can you hear my voice shaking? Because my abs are shaking. Okay, from the knees, you're just going to tap the foot out, lifting one knee up at a time. 10 seconds. Keep a long neck. Look out towards your thumbs. Everything pulling up and rest. Now you're going to go into that side plank on the other side. So knees can be together, lifting up, shoulder right over the wrist. I need to scooch up just a touch. Or you can have that top leg out. You could also have an arm up. I didn't say that first time around, but you can be there or hands on your hip. Just try to not let your body roll forward. We want everything flat in the front. You got it, ladies. Keep breathing. It's not easy, but you can do it. 15 seconds. Lift up again. If you start to notice your hips are sinking to the floor, get that hook in your top hip and let it crank you up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to flip over onto all fours, hands and knees. Now, tucking your toes under. You can also do this in with a standing with a chair. It'll work similar, but just not quite as challenging. If you can lift your knees and hover them off the floor, then you're going to tap opposite hand to the opposite shoulder, belly button pulled in. Trying to not wiggle in the hips. If you need to tap down your knees occasionally, catch your breath, and then come back up. Oh man, lots of stabilization, right? 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest the knees down. Bird dog is next. I think you're all very familiar with this one. Right arm, left leg reaches out. Set it down. Left arm, right leg reaches out. And down. So imagine you're on that white carpet with a glass of red wine on your back. We don't want any tipping or rocking to spill that glass. Keep the belly button pulled up and in. Same thing if you're upright and you're standing, but hands are on the chair. We still want to keep the back flat, the core stable. You have 12 seconds. Good. 2, 1, rest. You have another 15-second break because that finishes our stability section. We're going to go into flexibility. I might need to scoot my mat a little closer so I have room behind me. Okay, this one might really challenge your flexibility, so just stay within a range of motion that works for you. Your right foot is lengthened off to the side. Your left knee is under your left hip. And then you're going to come forward and stretch into that right adductor, your inner thighs. We're going to add to this, taking your right hand under, you're going to twist. You can move through this, like you can pull your right hand out and then go back into it, or you can just hold. It's up to you. I'm going to try to stay here in this very awkward twisted pretzel position. Some of these are just 30 seconds, just so you know. So now we're going to switch to the other side, coming back up, left leg out to the side, and then just hinge forward. Again, you can do this with a chair. You can be upright. You should feel a nice stretch down the inside of your left thigh, left leg. In a few seconds, we're going to take the left hand and reach it under us towards the right. Here we go. Reach under. You can just hold, or you can pull it out and just give it a rest and then go back into it. I'm going to try to stay here. I'm letting my right knee bend softly so that I can get a little more of a rotation down my back. But it's up to you how you want to do that. If you want to stay up a little higher, that's fine. Okay, bringing that left arm back. Hip flexor. Okay, so right foot forward. And really, you can do this along your mat. I'm off my mat because I don't want to have to keep switching positions. You're at right angles with your knee and your hips, but then you're rocking forward and coming back to that 90-degree bend. Rocking forward, coming back to 90 degrees. I will go sideways actually to show you. 90 degrees here and here. Then you let your knee go forward towards your toes. Good, a few more seconds. Then we're going to hold this forward position. So go ahead and reach forward. Drop your hands down by your foot. So you're lining up foot, hand, hand. And you can keep your back knee on the floor, or to deepen that left hip flexor, lifting the knee off. This one we're holding for a minute. If you need to rest, if you need to back off of this stretch and then get back into it, that's fine. Number one important thing is to breathe. Keep the breath flowing. Right foot forward, left foot back. Knee can be either on the floor, or I meant to give you a tip with that towel. Have that towel under your left knee. You're going to come out of it right here. Now, if you want to fall into 90-90 pigeon, just wiggle that right foot over. Bend your front leg in 90, back leg in 90. Hands on either side of that leg. Sink down into it for a couple breaths. And come out. One more time. And then we're going to add a turn. Right here, you're going to turn towards the right. And fall forward. Let your body weight sink forward, come out of it and back down again. So you're just going in and out. Do you feel that opening in your hip flexor? You also should feel a little stretch in this right glute. 3, 2, 1. Coming up, hip flexor with the left leg in front. So find that 90-degree position. Foot is flat on the floor, 90-degree bend in the knee, 90-degree bend in the hip. And then send your body weight forward, come back. And coming forward and back. You can have hands on the legs. You can have that back knee elevated just a little bit. Put a cushion under there, a pillow, or just double or triple up your mat under your right knee. Okay, right here. Oh, sorry. No, keep going. Almost there. And then we're going to sink down into that runner's lunge. So pressure on as you rock forward and pressure off. All right, a couple more seconds. If you would like, go ahead and come to that forward reaching position. Hands are just to the inside of that left foot. Your back knee can be on the floor, or it can be resting on a towel or a pillow, or lift up the right knee and hold. Good. Try to relax through the upper body, like try to not let the ears scrunch up towards, or the shoulders up towards the ears. Relax that as much as you can. Feel that stretch, that pull in the right hip flexor. Good job. Long flat back. We're still thinking about our posture through our torso as we do this, trying to not round. I'm just going to turn towards you. We're going to get into that 90-90 pigeon. If you want to wiggle that left foot over, drop down into pigeon, or however you want to get there. Right leg is off to the side, left leg is in front of you. Sink forward and come back up. Now, it's really not about how far or how close you can get to the floor. It's about feeling those stretches in the front of this right leg and right under your left glute, right there in that left butt cheek. Let's add that twist. So reach the hands over to the side. You can sink into it and then back off, or you can just hold. And rest. Only a couple more, ladies. We're almost there. These ones I feel are a little more enjoyable and gentle. Feet together, knees apart, sit up tall. And you might feel this enough by being right up here, or you might want to increase that stretch through the groin area and also inner thighs if you come forward. You might also feel that stretch down the lower back. I like to start this one off with a flat back, but also get into a rounded back just to give my spine a nice little stretch. And down, especially those lower back muscles, the spinae erectors, the muscles that help support the spine on the sides. 3 more seconds. And then we're going to lay on the back. Here's our last one. You're going to rock side to side through this one. Knees are up. You can have arms at your side or even further out into a T for stability. If you want to just keep the knees up like this and rock, that's fine. Or let them fall all the way to the floor. Give it a breath. And then lift it up to the other side. Give it another breath. Good job. About 15 more seconds. Ooh, I got a pop. Maybe you got a pop in your back too. Little back cracking and rest. You can hug your knees in. If you can roll yourself up, just grab behind the legs, give it a little rock to bring yourself up, or roll to the side and press yourself up with your top hand. All right. Nice work, everybody. Right. Nice. Good job, ladies. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hope to see you tomorrow for active aging. We'll get our strength on tomorrow. All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.